Hey everyone, Alan here. And I was thinking about this, and what is it whenever I approach a table or a group of people, how do I immediately establish who I am and what I'm there to do? Well, one of my favorite things to do is just to straight up tell people, hey, hi, my name's Alan. I am the entertainer, I'm the magician walking around tonight. I'd like to show you something. That works okay, and it works great in the beginning if you are trying to get started. Good strategy anytime you are performing, especially at a party for a couple of hours or something, and you need to get everybody to know who you are. It's a great idea to have signs up with your picture. That's a great way to do it. Or in the email materials when they go out to whoever the invitation for whoever's coming to this party, to have a picture of you and a little description. Or even a link to your website. Those are all wonderful things to have. But when you're on the floor, how do you get people to know you're there? Move to the center of the room. Go to the center of the room, magic, do your craziest, biggest, whatever trick, get as many people involved as you can, and get them to react. Get them to shout, clap, laugh, whatever it is. You're a tiny voice shouting in a very large room of other people that are talking very loudly, trying to hear each other over each other. How do you get noticed? Well, that's a fantastic way to do it. Go to the center of the room, make a big stink, and and then everybody will kind of rubberneck and kind of, what's that? Oh, it's a magician, and then will notice eyes looking at you, and then you kind of get an idea of who's interested just by a glance, and then you kind of know who to go to next, right? And then you kind of just work out from that center until you hit everybody in the room. Not everybody's going to stay still. Some people may want to follow you. There's all kinds of things that happen in the live show dynamic. It's hard to describe everything out in a clear, linear fashion. So if you guys have any questions about that, please leave a comment below. If you have any questions about how you approach performing or any problems or things that you notice in that space, please ask me. I'm happy to share that information with you. That's something that was hard won over a very long time, and it makes a world of difference. So, in your enjoyment and other people's enjoyment of the event. So another way, and the reason that I have this video, another way that you can get attention or get people to kind of what my magician friends and I call this peacocking, a way to, if you're in a room and you don't want to walk up to somebody, if you're not paid to be there necessarily, but you want to show magic to somebody. This was real popular whenever I was a single man and I was trying to meet women. It might be that. It might be you're trying to attract a certain person's attention. Could be that you're just kind of in the mood for doing something, but you don't want to bother people. Whatever. You want somebody to ask you about what you're doing. Peacocking is a great way to do it. Peacocking is basically doing something that's visually impressive, that immediately establishes interest in you as a person, what you're doing. So, flourishes are fantastic for that. Card flourishes are great. They're visible. They're big. Make noise sometimes. It's a great way to draw some attention to yourself if you want it. Also, be aware that if you do these things and you don't want anybody asking you, don't do them because this will attract attention. People will ask you who you are, what you do, what's with the cards. Be ready for that. One of my favorites and the thing I'm going to show you today is a cascade. Springs and cascades work great. Springs are great for noise because you can really hear them from a long ways away, and they don't sound like anything. Well, honestly, they kind of sound like. Well, I'll do it out of screen. You tell me what that kind of sounds like. Yeah. So be careful with that because people might mistake you as a very gassy fellow. Okay? But a cascade. I'm going to stand up for this. I got my little dangly headphone things here because, well, this is what I've got right now. Okay? So cascade looks like this. Pretty cool. pretty cool from all angles, actually. I think that from the front is the coolest. But it can be seen from all around you. And it doesn't look like anything people have really seen before. They may have seen that in a movie. But man, that is a cool thing. What is that? Oh man, he's not Uncle Joe pulling quarters from people's ears. He's a practiced, polished magician with some flair. So the secret is you need an air gap between each of the cards to make each individual single card fall without any friction. If the cards rub against each other, you're going to have a bad time. So how do you get an air gap between each card? It's how you hold the cards in your right hand. Or if you're left-handed, of course, do the opposite. So you're going to grip this almost like a super deep fiddle grip, okay? You're really wanting to grab it just with this area here and then kind of crunch it down. So you're not looking for this. That will get you nowhere. That'll get you in Pain City, okay? You don't want that. What you would like is hold it much deeper in the hand, like beyond the second knuckle of the thumb. For me, at least with my size hands, this is where I hold it. You're going to have to experiment. Of course, there is no universal. Everybody is different, so you will have to adapt these techniques to your own personal physiology. Who knew? Making magic personal, right? Making it a part of you. So, that's the air gap. You see how I've got like this kind of shiny thing right there? Yeah, that's a pretty cool effect, right? Whoa, look at my right eye. It appears, disappears. I'm sorry, what were we talking about? No, of course. So you got the way you do that, you hold it really deep in your hand, really deep, and then you start the pressure gradually from the base of the fingers, keeping your thumb as solidly in place as you can. It's not going to really bend much more down, but you want to keep that pretty solidly out. And then you're going to increase your grip, and that's what you're looking for, okay? It is very tough on the hands. It does take very strong hands to do this, and it will feel really awkward. You may not be able to do it until you've built up the hand strength. But that means just you got to keep doing that every day until you get that, okay? Now that we've got the air gap between each of the cards that will help them fall singularly without any pressure, you're going to open your hand in the reverse way you closed it, right? So you're going to move like this. You see how as the area between my thumb and index finger, or base of my fingers, as it widens, the cards start to fall like that. So let's do that. See? You'll notice they're falling from, I guess, would that be your right to your left. For me, it's from my left to my right. But the face falls first until you're left with just a card or a single card or whatever in your hand. So that's what you're doing. You create that air gap and then you release it, and those cards will fall. You can do it too fast and you just get something like a little that. So you want to practice with the speed to understand the speed and the distance to make sure that you get the nicest, most aesthetic spread as possible, right? If you have only this distance, it takes a shorter time than if you had your hand further down. So you have to time how quickly your hand opens up so that the cards fall in a single string, okay? What does the left hand do? The left hand creates a claw with an index finger at the front, and the cards are basically just falling like that into your hand, okay? You got your fingers here, your hand's tilted slightly forward so nothing falls back out of this way. Everything's going to be forced to fall into this cage here. So everything falls into your claw. It's not going to go anywhere, right? Index finger in front. Use what you got. Don't try to catch them like this or like that or any. Make sure they fall in a really nice solid claw. Okay, so let me do it from this side. You can see how everything, well, I'm not looking at my hands, so we're having some troubles there. But everything falls into that claw. If anything wants to fall further forward, if it's got more energy or it's sliding off the cards below it, it just gets caught by that index finger and everything falls neatly into your hand. So that's basically the Cascade. I wish that there was some trick or some technique I could tell you that would make this super easy to do and you'd pick it up in 2 seconds. Some of you will. but some of you, it might take some time. It took me quite a while to learn how to do a Cascade. So it has to do with hand strength and size and where you hold and how you hold. Anybody can do this. Jay Sankey can do it, and his hands are half the size of mine, and I have like normal, I would like to say maybe like average male hands. I have slender fingers because, well, you know, I don't know, piano player or whatever, but not really. But so my fingers aren't nearly as thick. I wear about like a size 7 or 8 ring. But size-wise, they're about average male size. So Jay's are considerably smaller. I've shaken his hand. I know they're much smaller hands. But he can do this too, right? So don't say, oh, well, my hands are too small, I can't do it. Unless your hands are smaller than a deck of cards, you can probably do it. If you have baby hands, then you probably, you're not even going to be able to grip the cards, right? So, but give it a go. See, I could even do it further up. So that's that, right? I don't even have to grab it in that meaty claw of mine, right? I can go a little bit further up. So work on it, practice it. You're going to get it, okay? And if you have any questions, please send them to me, okay? I'm going to try to keep adding little pieces and bits and things so that over time you guys get a nice education on some flourishes and some things that are helpful when you're working a crowd or running a show or whatever. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, I love to hear from you. I read all the comments, at least right now, because I'm not getting tens of thousands of them. I'm just getting, a handful, and I appreciate you guys for commenting. It means a lot to me. So I love to hear from you guys. Leave something down in the comment section. Like it if you did. Subscribe if you loved it. Smash that like button. I don't know. I'm trying to be a YouTuber in 2019. I'm learning all kinds of lingo. I'll see you guys in the next one.